Welcome everyone to the 2021 Humanist UK Trans Day of Remembrance ceremony. My name is Lisa Bourne. I'm a celebrant accredited by Humanist UK, and it is an absolute honour to have been asked to follow in the footsteps of Adele Anderson in leading today's ceremony. Trans Day of Remembrance is an annual observance which was started by transgender advocate Gwendolyn Ann Smith in 1999 as a vigil to honour the memory of Rita Hester, a transgender woman who was killed the previous year. That vigil commemorated all the transgender people lost to anti-transgender violence since Rita Hester's death, and this important tradition remains 22 years later. Research by the Trans Respect vs Transphobia Worldwide project has shown that violence towards transgender and gender diverse people is increasing worldwide, and the majority of people affected are trans women of colour. A 2021 hate crime report by UK LGBT+ anti-abuse charity Gallup found that 64% of their 1,166 respondents had experienced anti-LGBT+ violence or abuse. Of those, 9 in 10 had experienced verbal abuse, 3 in 10 had been subject to physical violence, 2 in 10 had experienced sexual violence. Humanism is a non-religious philosophy or set of principles that humanists try to live by. It focuses on treating others with respect, dignity and compassion, and thinking about how our own behaviours can positively impact others and future generations. Therefore, as humanists, we believe it is incredibly important to come together to remember those lives lost, to visibly and actively support the trans community. Whilst I hold this space through an ally's eyes, it is the voices, experiences and memories of transgender people that is front and centre today.
TDAW is Trans Day of Remembrance, which is a day where the transgender, non-binary community come together to remember the people that we've lost in the last year. The focus is usually on the people that we've lost to violence, to murders, transphobic violence of all sorts. But as a community, we do often make space as well to remember the people that we've lost to suicide. And it's just a day for us to gather together to remember the people we've lost, to mourn as a community, and just to hold that space for each other. I really do feel like every trans person is a member of my family. We are a community. And like any family, there's some you know very well, some distant relatives that you don't know much at all. But when something happens to one of you, it does affect the whole family. And I'm not going to be able to go to every funeral of every trans person that's died in the last year, but I can take time on Trans Day of Remembrance to remember the people we've lost and have that time to grieve with my community, with my family. There's reasons why TDAW is important for me personally, but there's also reasons why it's important in a kind of broader sense. It's a way for the transgender and non-binary community to kind of remind the world what is happening to us, because it's very easy to forget. If you're not part of this community, you're not going to know what's going on in this community necessarily. So it's important to remind people of the violence that we face just because we exist.
I invite you to join us in lighting a candle, remembering all those who have lost their lives to anti-transgender violence. The flickering flame not only represents a remembrance for those lives lost, but it is also a symbol of hope and of gratitude, of a supportive community and life itself.
I do have a lot of hope for my community and for society going forwards. When I look at teenagers today, they are so switched on, they are so engaged, and they want to be as supportive to many different communities as possible. So they really do give me hope, a massive amount of hope. But that feels like that has come from these kids themselves fighting to be able to express that. The debate to me seems to be fiercest online. In my day-to-day life, I can often forget that I'm trans when you're with people that are supportive. But online, the debate is so toxic, and I know this is a problem with lots and lots of things. It's not just trans people that are attacked, it's any minority group is fiercely attacked on the internet. I don't know how to solve that. Maybe the answer is just to have a society that is more supportive of every minority group, and then people won't hold these views that they feel like they need to spout to the internet. And I think it's important to remember that the loudest voices are always in the minority. Something that I've struggled with as I've come out is realising that just because when I turn the telly on or when I look on the internet, it sounds like everyone hates me and hates trans people, that doesn't mean that in reality that's how the people around me feel. So that's something I would say to any kind of freshly out trans people that are listening. The internet is not the entire world, and generally people want to be good people. They want to support you. They just might not understand how. 20 years ago, the idea that a trans person would be talking in this kind of forum about trans lives, about the trans people that have been lost, would be completely unheard of. The word transgender wasn't even one that people could have given a definition for. And now I'm here. Now we have people who are visible in the media, who are openly trans. We have a world that is bending towards progress. It's slow and it's hard and it's difficult, but we are getting there. And the more we band together as a community with our allies to push things forwards, who knows where we'll be in another 20 years.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. This memorial ceremony is for all those who have lost their lives to anti-transgender violence, but it is also a celebration of a beautiful, resilient, transgender and gender diverse community striving for a better world.